Welcome to this week's council meeting. Council discussed safety concerns at the public library following a recent incident and possible steps to improve security for staff and visitors. Long-term provincial support to help maintain important regional access roads used for tourism, forestry, and emergency services was also debated. There was an opportunity to review plans for the new golf simulator project at the community center, including expanded access and booking options. Now here's the agenda.
Terrace Bay to order. Declaration of the Council of the Township of Terrace Bay hereby acknowledges that we are in Robinson Superior Treaty Territory, and the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Métis. The additions, deletions, or amendments. We have a motion moved by Councillor Webb, seconded by Councillor Dubé. Resolve the council approve the agenda for the regular council meeting held May 19th, 2026 as amended. 7.1D, Great Lakes St. Lawrence City Initiatives. 8E, resolution requesting sustainable provincial funding for the maintenance of forest access roads. 10B, bylaw 15-2026, Red Chair's lease agreement. And 13G, one matter concerning a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board. 33 and 35 Simcoe Plaza. Any other? All in favor?
Just the student councilor report.
It should be there.
So it was already on the agenda. The report just today. Yeah, it was already on the agenda.
Yep.
Apologies. Yep. So all in favor? There. Thank you. Okay. Any disclosures of interest? Hearing none. Adoption of minutes. We have a motion moved by Councillor Dubé, second by Councillor Webb. Resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting held April 20th, 2026 be approved as presented. Any questions on that motion? All in favor? Carried. Delegations, Mike, you're up.
What? Legal counsel. This opportunity to meet with you. Two items from the library board that I'd like to bring to your attention tonight from our board's last meeting. Those items include the board's legacy document, as well as an incident report that happened at the library that the board feels council should be aware of. I'll deal with the legacy document first. You may have received a copy. I'm not sure if you will have it or not, but it is lengthy, and I'm not going to go through the whole document. There's one item there that the board will to the purpose of this document provides continuity between outgoing and incoming board members. It captures key insights into how the library is perceived, summarizes governance experience, and highlights major initiatives, accomplishments, and ongoing priorities. Its purpose is to preserve the institutional knowledge, support informed decision-making, and ensure continued stewardship of the Terrace Bay Public Libraries. The item that I refer to specifically is item 10, considerations for municipal council board appointments. And the board has found it interesting that council has a student counselor on the council table. And the library would like to consider adopting a similar situation on the library board. However, as council appoints all members to the library board, this would be council's prerogative as to whether or not they would approve the appointment of a student counselor to the library board for the school term, which would be similar to what the council, student councilor, does at this particular point in time. So just bring that forward to, council's consideration at this time. And, you can get back to the library on whether you feel that's a worthwhile, goal to achieve, or that it doesn't really merit, being part of the library's board. The second item that I want to bring to your attention is with regard to an incident that occurred on April the 22nd. The transient woman presented herself at the library. At this time, the library CEO was on holidays, so there was only one staff member on duty. The transient requested use of a computer, phone, town map, and charities that could give her financial assistance. The transient was acting in an agitated manner and giving the staff member cause for concern. And what I'm giving you right now is a capsulized version. There's a full incident report that we do as part of our policy at the library, and that's on file. If you wish to see the full report, that can be made available. This is just a recap for brevity. I know you have a busy meeting. So the staff member had cause for concern with this person being there. There was a mom and two young children in the library at this time, and they quickly exited the library. The staff person followed proper library procedures, notifying maintenance on duty, and called the OPP. The OPP arrived about 25 minutes later, escorted the transient from the building, talked to the transient for about 20 minutes, got in their cruiser, and left the transient outside the building. This is a brief summary of what has occurred. What we are bringing forward to council tonight is three options to alleviate or help solve this particular problem. First, we would like to encourage council to consider cameras inside the library. As the library board staff is quite minimal, there are times during the day when there's only one member on staff. And so with cameras, that would add an extra level of security to the person working on staff. The second consideration that would obviously be adding additional staff. And again, that would become a budget issue as well as possibly an issue with your unions as far as that goes. And the other item we would like to have council consider is OPP actions with regard to this. And I would like to meet later at some point in time with the OPP representatives, and we can review this a little fully and discuss follow-up issues with regard to that. That's the report I have at this time. If there are any questions, I'll be prepared to answer them. If not, I thank you for your attention to this matter.
Mike, we have a board meeting on Thursday, OPP. And you want to come then?
Sure.
The staff sergeant's gonna be there
Okay.
at 11 o'clock.
Okay, so would you like the information obviously before then, or do you want me to attend? Well, what?
I can actually forward him your email about the incident.
Okay, what I can do is provide you with the full documentation on the incident. And because of our concerns there, was how that was handled, and it would be appropriate to be discussed at that level. Okay, so I'll make sure that gets emailed to both yourself and to Mr. Buck.
Any other questions from? No.
I'll speak a little bit to the legacy document first. For number one, Michael, thank you for coming in and speaking to everybody about both documents there. The legacy document in particular is something the library's been working on. And again, as the new board or as a board has the potential to change with a new council coming through, it's important that we sort of reflect as a board on what we've done in the past and what our direction could possibly be in the future. And that sets up new library board members coming in. It gives them some sort of historical and background information. What have we done the last few years? Where are we going? Right. And I also thought this would be a powerful document to sort of implement for other committees looking into the future. So we're looking at different committees of council and saying, okay, like, before we wrap up here before the election with the potential new council coming through, and how can we sort of learn from their successes and implement that from our library perspective.
Gary, you had a question?
Yeah, my comment was, I appreciate a lot of this legacy documents working on just as an onboarding process. I think that's great. Base point, I'd love to see it across multiple committees as well. So just express my appreciation to the board for making that happen. As well, just in regard to the incident, I think my feeling as a counselor, and I speak for myself, obviously, is we empower the board to make decisions and recommendations. Appreciate the awareness. It's good for us to know what's going on. But I mean, whatever you have to do to make a recommendation. I mean, to Chris's point again, I think it doesn't happen in our situation, in our community very often, but certainly other jurisdictions deal with it daily, if not hourly. And so, whether that means more training, whatever the case is, I think the library board is well equipped to handle whatever means necessary moving forward to make sure we obviously want all of our staff, library staff, to be safe, enjoy their work, and but also be qualified and maybe trained to handle difficult situations as they arise. And so, I just read my trust is in the board to facilitate whatever needs to happen there, and appreciate you making us aware. But just by your appointment by council, you already have our support, right? So
to that point, there are policies and procedures in place to deal with incidents like this at the library. It's just felt that that extra step needs to be taken, just for the safety aspect of the person working alone.
yeah, no, certainly, and like I said, I fully think the board is empowered to make the decisions they need to make for the safety of the library staff.
It's a responsibility.
Yeah. Okay.
Bill, any comments, questions?
Thank you for the report, Michael. Very detailed. If I may, just for a brief second, if you could capture for me, what was the end result of the transient? Did she finally leave? Did the OPP finally come and remove her, or what was the end result with that whole action? I mean, were any of the library staff impacted other than how the situation unfolded? There was no physical.
There was nothing physical. The staff member was she was very concerned.
Yes.
Obviously for primarily the patrons that were using the facility. The patrons that were there left. There were two people that had witnessed the situation and would have been there had there been immediate help required. But obviously people don't want to get involved in a situation like that when you're dealing with someone who's not stable to start off with. Getting back to the legacy document, to Councilman Bay's point, we do have a draft form that we follow when we prepare the legacy document. So if you feel that that would be helpful for council, we can certainly make that available as a schematic to follow in preparing your own for other committees.
Rick, any questions?
No, thanks for the report. You're right, we do need to take it serious. We have to make sure that our people are safe. The last thing I want is someone going to work scared. They shouldn't have to be. So we'll have to come up with
There's a few points about how that wrapped up. The OPP did arrive after about 25 minutes of being called. They had a conversation with the person outside the library. That took about 20 minutes. And then an officer got in the cruiser and left, and the person was standing there. But they didn't come back into the library.
The thing is, though, Mike, with the OPP, 25 minutes, they go from Gravel River to Steel River. I call the OPP, I waited an hour and a half. So
Yeah,
unless it's life and death or 911 or whatever, I've read in the Thunder Bay News, someone was waiting 2 days for the police to show up to do an incident report. So, there's only 2 officers on duty. So,
well, as I say, there's additional information in the report that I want to disclose.
and the sergeant should have a report also from the constable that attended. So,
Well, what I'll do is ensure the council that you and Mr. Webb get copies of the document and share it with him if you needs to have that information.
Like you said, Detachment Commander Gold will be here Thursday.
okay, thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Mike.
Report from administration, John, no delegations.
Thank you, Your Worship. So at the last meeting, we brought this forward for the first time for council to think about who they would like to request delegations from in terms of ministers at the AMO conference. I've submitted the forestry one on the topics of the mill and the forestry road already. So beyond that, I would leave it open to council to decide the remainder. I don't have any recommendations at this time, but
Like I talked to John today about, and I know what, I can't remember who was with us when we talked to, football Lumsden, Neil Lumsden there in Ottawa. I guess he kind of brushed us off when we're asking for money for improvements to the rec center. You know, so I don't know, that's a worthwhile one, putting in again to ask them for money. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I think that was going to be my recommendation as well.
Do we have, we probably don't have updated, yeah, I guess we do, right, for the arena, what would it cost if we were looking to put a floor in that? Do we have something firm enough that we can go to them and say, you know, we
Well,
need this?
I think Danny did something with the arena floor or
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
like, as long as we have something to bring,
There was a recent announcement that there was money allocated towards upgrading rinks and recreation facilities in the last. There was an announcement recently, and it's what I recall. So I think it's worthwhile to at least put it in. Worst you can say is no.
I think in tandem, if there's a grant portal open, then we should already have an application into that as well, and it'll be support that. Yeah, because they'll probably just turn around to the delegation and go, "Did you follow the process?"
And I'm not sure, Stacy, though, if there's anything open for that yet, or maybe that's Luke. No.
No, there's some stuff with NOHFC that we've been investigating. But that's what it is.
Yeah.
just if I recall at the time, we were looking to apply to the Community Sport Recreation Fund, which is only 220 million for the entire province, which is not a lot of money considering, you know, we were looking at 5 million to do the arena a few years back. So we've pieced out our work over time. The humidifier project, we're waiting to hear from NOHFC on that. So obviously that project would come out of the whole arena thing. But the other thing is are we going in to talk to him about the Community Sport Recreation Fund, or are we just going to ask, like, there needs to be, what's the ask? Yeah. I guess is really the what I'm trying to drill down to.
Done.
Yeah, essentially, like,
person myself, I'd say the arena floor is the one that's going to come up and bite us one of these days.
Well, I agree with Gary. He's going to turn around saying, "Well, there's this grant portal, there's grant, and that's this one. Thanks for coming."
So that's the answer you get a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I think you should go talk to him.
Because we've pieced this out, it quite possibly could be seen as a low-hanging fruit. Yes, there's 230 million, but if you say you come in with $100,000, for them, that's a relatively low-hanging fruit. You can accomplish this project for a relatively low amount. We're not coming in and asking for 23 million. So it does have that to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's worth asking, and then that way
it's really helpful if we can get in right after Marathon's delegation.
We got to get before. Yeah. You got to trip Rick if you see him in front of us.
Anyway, I still think it's worthwhile. It's infrastructure in our community that needs to be looked at, and even if we're squeaky wheel and they can, we're on their radar at least, then that might be leverage in the future.
Yeah, my point was, as long as we've applied for those grants when they're available, maybe the delegation is, to that northern rural.
Yeah, I don't know where the stats trillions will be on or not.
So just to make a point, administration decided not to apply to the Community Sport Recreation Fund at the time because NOHFC had a better funding model. So for the amount we were seeking, so that's why we didn't do that.
That's right.
We were this fund actually has been increased to 500 million from 220. So they bumped it up by 300 million at the end of March. We can look into see if there is an open, this would obviously be a future project. And the other thing to consider is how this fits in with council's long-term financial plans. So you have the Hudson project coming online for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
So your reserves are going to take a bit of a beating. So just keep that in mind. We don't have money to spend or burn. So I don't think it's a bad idea to go talk to them necessarily. Just again, it's just to focus on exactly what are we going to speak to the minister about. So
Yeah, I think on that point too, that's part of crafting the narrative when we meet with them as well. We go, hey, this is the projects we have, this is the size of the municipality, this is aging infrastructure. We can't do this on our own.
Yeah.
This is why we're here.
And at least get an idea if they say come back, hey, we're gonna fund you at 50% or whatever, then we can at least make those decisions
And then,
based off of those financials.
And then I would even say in the delegation, yes, make this stackable funding as well. So 50% from this program that can be stacked up in NHFC, we stack with Fed North Bell.
Yeah, billings, yeah.
Rick, do you have anything? When does they have to be in, John? The end of this month? I'm not sure.
Soon.
I can't think of anything offhand, but
Bill?
if I think of anything, I'll send you, fire you off an email or
Yeah, if anyone thinks of anything else. Okay.
Now, is that 2 or 3? That'd be
two.
Long-term care or assisted living or anything to do with that. Looking at that church property, that would be the other funding. But again, how many projects do we have on the go? I believe the next step was with Patty. Was it not? Gary, you can speak better to this or Bill? Yeah.
Well, I think that was running some CMHC rates there.
Correct. So what's the status of that then? No. Okay.
Daniel. Go ahead, Lowell Conference.
thank you, Your Worship. So in from April 22nd to the 25th, I believe we attended the NOMA conference at Thunder Bay. A bit of a different conference this time. It was 3 full days almost. Usually it's a half day, a full day, and a half day. So lots of sessions to attend, lots of content to the conference as compared to previous years. I mean, for me, it was the first time I had to attend a NOMA meeting in person, so that was kind of new for me, for the board. I did attend the part of the MEPR exercise with the Honorable Jill Dunlop. So we actually sat at the table. We worked on that together. That was actually the first morning. Two of the other sessions that really stood out to me were the incivility. So one put on by Norm Gale from a council's perspective and, more or less protecting staff. And then the ones I actually introduced with the two gentlemen from Cheetos, Cody Fraser and Jordan Lester. They were talking about practical municipal toolkits. So those are 2 that really stood out to me. The other ones would being the forestry panel we watched and listened to. It was interesting to hear that there are 2 viable pulp mills in Northwestern Ontario. Not mention of a third. And then, of course, the First Nations municipal partnerships was also a pretty neat panel to watch. And then finally, I'll just say the Norm Gale's interview with former Premier of Alberta was actually really good as well. So, especially, he talked a little bit about incivility there too. So,
The areas he have a book up there.
Don't worry, I'm not going to read the book. No, I actually got the location this year. You guys get a good feel of the conference. Really, one of the more engaging ones that you've been to in the 3 or 4 that I attended. So one of the best side sessions, I can't remember the name of the guy now, but he did a lot of the highway safety presentations. Talked about a 2+1 model that they've been advocating for, and some really interesting numbers on the success of that project. And I think if we continue to advocate for highway safety and improvement, he's already got a proven viable model that we can certainly help move forward. But that was quite an interesting one. And then I also sat in on the AI used by elected officials by Shelby Chung, yeah. And so that was a fascinating outcome of anytime you use AI and you say you do, there's more distrust that's given. But if you use it and don't say anything and people find out, they're sort of okay with it. So that's fascinating. So if you use it, don't tell anybody. If you do and you do tell them, they won't like you as much. They won't trust you as much.
Yeah. Bill, you have anything to share?
Just on just to dovetail what Gary's said there about the 2+1. I mean, we saw their world model as to the way the world is going too. And it's a step in the right direction. more and more, we see it every day. I mean, even, last night or even as early as this morning at, Longline. Two transports, icy roads, crappy sort of conditions, and you know what? If there was a 2+1, that probably wouldn't happen, and you know there'd be more souls on the same day, and that's all I have to see.
I went to the Intact Insurance one about tobogganing, and it's a bit of a
I avoided that one.
it's a bit of an eye opener because basically the takeaway from it is if they don't, they're saying they don't want you to eliminate it, but you better watch because there's more and more lawsuits from somebody going down the hill and wiping out and figuring I'll go sue the municipality because they got deep pockets. One of the things that she brought up, which I thought was quite interesting, but I don't know how we police it she basically said if there's a hill you don't want something going down, you should put a sign at the top saying sliding not permitted. Like she said, that's not going to end it. If somebody wants to slide down it, they're going to slide down it anyway. But at least you've done your due diligence. The other thing is, if we should probably look at identifying the hills that the kids are going down, and somebody needs to take the time to go and check them out and make sure they're safe. As in, like, there's not a big rock in the middle or something.
I can basically speak anecdotally that they're definitely not safe.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I've definitely lost my kids into the trees.
those were the ones that we always wanted, was the ones with some risk, right?
Right.
That things are nowadays. So it's just something to be. The only good thing is, she said that the courts have not been one-sided with it, and based on the sewer, they've actually said, you know what, that the municipality is not responsible for that. Come on, you're grasping at straws. But it is something to be on the lookout for, that it's happening more and more. People are actually suing the municipality because somebody went down the hill and got hurt. You know.
Yeah, I like what John said. The one with Cody Fraser and I can't remember his name, John.
Jordan
Partner was an interesting one, and also the forestry one. But one thing I found interesting was here's your question. Go up and ask it.
Yeah.
And personally, myself, when they handed me the question, and I think everyone's question, I know Gary's, we already had the answer to it. But I was thinking maybe, John, you're on the NOMA board. Maybe each town should make up their own question and ask it.
Have one municipality.
Yeah, one municipality have a question, you know, because it's in those things, it's usually like the mayor of Fort Francis was up there twice, and it's usually the same people asking the questions. If each town municipality said one question from your municipality, would probably work better instead of them I shouldn't say dictating, but here's your question, go and ask it. But anyways,
Yeah.
see. Okay, I missed a step here. About the annual conference. Made a motion moved by Councillor Webb, second by Councillor Dubé. Resolve that council direct administration to request delegations with forestry and recreation, right?
Tourism, culture, and sports. Yeah.
At the upcoming annual conference, all in favor, Terry? Next one's your AMCTO, John.
Thank you, Your Worship. Pull up here. So on May 4th to 6th, Rebecca and I attended the AMCTO's online conference in Thunder Bay. We had a variety of topics. It was seemingly a shorter agenda than usual. We had elections training on the Monday at the City of Thunder Bay. So that was run through the AMCTO itself. And then we had a presentation on harassment of municipal administration and tools to address it by Chantal Bryson. The AMCTO committee did some updates. We received some updates and information from MPAC. Elections Ontario was there as well too, providing an update from their perspective on their handling of the list for the 2026 election. The Ministry of Municipal Affairs was there as well too, updates on their overview of committees and committee related legislation, but also general updates from the ministry and from the province. The afternoon saw Mary Catherine Chambers present on human rights and employment law updates. So she focused a lot on termination for cause versus no cause, and also some of the case law associated therein. So a lot of people found that one really interesting. And then Sunday we had a mental health session with Jody Johnson. She's a solicitor, I believe, a Halton region now. She moved around a bit. She used to be with one of the bigger firms, Air Bearless, which is a well-known municipal firm in Southern Ontario. So she did a really good session on mental health. And then we had an elections panel for the remainder of the conference on the Wednesday, which I was a part of, along with the clerk of Kenora, the clerk of Shunia, and the clerk of the city of Thunder Bay. So we just kind of introduced what types of elections we run, and then allowed the audience to ask questions from other municipalities to ask questions. So there were 40 participants this year at this meeting. So we're significantly up from previous meetings, which is really good for us. It's good to see the zone getting active again. And then the last one was just on declaring an elections emergency. That was specifically by the clerk of Shunia and the clerk of Thunder Bay. So they had an incident, the 2022 election, where someone's name was left off the ballot. So that was really interesting to listen to how, the process unfolds.
Okay. Next one was the Great Lakes St. Lawrence City Elected Conference I attended in Hamilton from May 6th. The 8th was at the Hamilton Convention Center. There were about 300 delegates from the US and Canada there. A few things that I took out of it anyways. A lot of it is redeveloping brownfields. Like everyone knows, there was industries right next to the lakes and rivers and stuff like that, and they've since been torn down and all that, and with nice lakefront property or along the river. A lot of communities, not necessarily here, maybe a bit in Thunder Bay, are developing their brownfield areas there, and usually that takes about 20 years to do. One of the other things they said is we have to put our beach, our waterfronts to better use. Cruise ships on the Great Lakes, and we get a few here, I don't think we're getting any this year, have a $300 million impact on our economy, which I found interesting. And after the cruise ships, after they embark or leave the port, it still has a lasting effect on your economy if you do things right. One of the other interesting speakers was a gentleman from Manitoulin Island, speaking about Indigenous Tourism Ontario. He's the director of that. And he said, it's interesting, 1 in 3 travelers want to experience Indigenous tourism. I don't think we have anything like that around here, like for, our Indigenous, like Pace Plat, Heron Bay and stuff like that. Another thing he said was establish partnerships of tourism with your neighbors. Tourism highlight what you have. So I think we do quite a good job of that with our web page and Superior Country and stuff like that. And I talked to Ryan a bit about this today about our aging infrastructure, and a consultant or an engineering group, I'm not sure what they are, Emmy Simpson. They aid in water and wastewater system, water loss control, water audit, leak survey, condition assessment, remote leak detection, pneumatic vibration, which is utilized to free up stuck valves. And they have about a 95% success rates with stuff they do. So anyways, and we can relate to this, and I'm not sure if Gary and Chris were here when we had that leak on across from Danny's place there, and I'm not sure how long that was leaking, for a year or whatever. So anyways, we put a lot of treated water into the ground, and not putting a dollar figure on that, but we might have been able to save some money if we would have had the right equipment up here to detect the leak right away and fix it. So anyways, I know the guy has said he talked to Ryan, or he attended a Zoom meeting with him or whatever, but one of the other things, Minister McCarthy announced $1.5 million program called the Local Blue Economy Growth Fund. I looked through it. I'm not the expert on that, and I'm not sure if there'd be anything worthwhile for us in there to apply. Well, $1.5 million won't go very long or very far with the amount of communities along the in this Great Lakes area here. And the last thing I'll say, and this was the first conference I've been to. I know Mayor Davis used to go to these, I'm not sure about every year, but anyways, in my opinion, the conference is an asset for any community that depends on the Great Lakes for its livelihood. Shows the importance of conserving water and new innovations to conserve water, and also what you could do with your waterfront. Like I said, your brown fields, put our beach to better use and stuff like that. To me, it was kind of an eye opener. And I mean, if we had the money and stuff like that, I would recommend someone else go with, like a counselor. Mayor doesn't have to go with it all the time, but the counselor, so they can have their eyes open too. And next year it's in Quebec City. So, any questions?
No, the only thing I'd say, I'm glad you went. I believe we should go to it. We have a share of the lake.
Yeah.
Right, and it's important that we know what's going on with it, especially with our neighbors and to the south of us.
Yeah.
My biggest fear is someone will be putting a drain in there and sucking the lake down 3 feet. I think you'll find, like Jody said when he used to go to it, is that the governors on the American side are pretty much like us. Like they don't want anybody coming up with a plan to drain that for the American states farther down that need water. But I think we should make sure we have a say in what's going on with our lakes.
Yeah. Then I think our membership is $1,100 a year.
Yeah, and I think it's money well spent.
Yeah.
Just comment briefly on the cruise ship and tourism and Pays Plat First Nation. If I recall correctly, when the cruise ship stopped at Battle Island, and I believe in that area, Pays Plat community members Raymond Goodchild and Matthew Goodchild are both involved in doing some cultural teachings and whatnot, which was it was good to see that. I saw that on the cruise ship in Superior Country, if I believe that was 2 summers ago. But even the powwow being the last weekend in July as well. So looking at if there is opportunity to bring tourism in, say if the ships are coming through, to plan it along with that and work with Pays Plat and the cruise ship company, like, hey, if there's that kind of drive or desire to have those cultural tourism opportunities, to network with Pays Plat during that time, and to it's open to everybody, and to and then come along here along the way. So to see strength in that partnership.
Yeah. And I think Stacey probably correct me, Suzanne Coupeau, the cruise ships tell you what they want to do, right?
Yes, essentially what Suzanne does is she makes a large itinerary of what all these places offer, and then they essentially pick and choose what they want. Last time we had them stop in, she actually connected with one of the Goodchilds, I believe, to welcome the visitors onto the beach with some smudging. So we have started making some of those connections, but definitely something to encourage and have a conversation with Suzanne about for our area, that we do want to, work on those partnerships.
Yeah, cool. Okay, thank you. Okay, next one. John, Community Development Manager, surplus sales area.
Thank you, Your Worship. So I'm delivering this report on behalf of Community Development. So the February 17th, 2026 meeting resolution was passed that council declare the following items as surplus, the cooling public chairs, and that these items be advertised for sale via public tender process responding to the treasurer. From the report is identified that approximately 80% of the chairs have loose rungs and split seats, making them uncomfortable, potentially unsafe, and beyond reasonable repair. It is recommended that they simply be disposed of. The remaining 20% were to be advertised for sale via public tender process responding to the treasurer. So through a miscommunication, or at least not clear communication between senior administration and recreation caretakers regarding the chairs, as such, the staff disposed of the chairs before approximately 20% of the salvageable chairs could be advertised. So though the potential revenue from the surplus sale is unknown, based on the amount and condition of salvageable chairs, administration would not anticipate a significant income. It is administration's opinion that these chairs had gone through the surplus process. The revenue to the municipality would have been less than $100. So the report is presented for information purposes only. So from administration's perspective, it just really requires clear communication on where the assets are, when they're being disposed of, who has control of them, and just laying out that process really clearly to our staff. So we'll tighten this up for the next one for sure. And really just, apologies to council and this is coming back in May. We probably could have brought this back a lot earlier, but obviously we were dealing with some things. But at the end of the day, the chairs have been disposed of, and we'll move on from this. So.
Thank you. Thanks. Any questions? Okay. We have a motion moved by Councillor Dubé, second by Councillor Webb, resolved that Council receive this report as information only. All in favor? Carried. John of Canada.
Thank you, Your Worship. So in 2021, the Township of Terrace Bay agreed to a 5-year visitor experience and red chair experience license agreements with Parks Canada. The agreements are set to expire at the end of May of this year. The visitor experience agreement permitted Parks Canada to provide education interpretive programs or programming on certain areas of land within the Township of Terrace Bay. Since entering into the agreements, Parks Canada has provided regular programming at the waterfront during the tourist season and has been a valued partner during Canada Day and Lighthouse Festival celebrations. It also gives them the right to put on regular non-event programming at the Lighthouse and other locations too. So it's not just Lighthouse Festival; they're also there someday on random days. So the Red Chair Experience program is designed to connect Canadians to nature by encouraging visitors to seek out the red chairs to enjoy majestic views and to share their experiences through social media and other communication channels. Following their installation in 2021, Terrace Bay's red chairs quickly became a highlight on the waterfront. So in terms of current discussion, Parks Canada is proposing to renew both agreements for additional 5-year terms. Neither of the proposed agreements present significant changes from the 2021 to 2026 agreements. If Council chooses to enter into the visitor experience license agreement, Parks Canada will continue to provide education and interpretive programs to foster the understanding, appreciation, and enjoyment of visitors to Lake Superior National Marine Conservation Area. If Council also chooses to enter into the Red Chairs license agreement, Parks Canada will continue to maintain Red Chairs currently at the Terrace Bay Beach location. There are no financial considerations associated with either agreement. So option 1 is the Council enters into a 5-year visitor experience agreement and 5-year Red Chair agreement with Parks Canada for a period of June 1st, 2026 to May 31st, 2031. The appropriate bylaws be brought forward. Option 2 is that Council enters into the 5-year visitor experience program with Parks Canada and that the appropriate bylaw brought forward. And that Council continues to provide direction on the 5-year Red Chairs. Option 3 is that we enter the Red Chair agreement and provide direction on the visitor experience. Option 4 is that Council is not under either agreement and directs administration otherwise. Administration is recommending option 1, that we enter into both agreements.
Questions?
No, both of them are very.
One of the additions was just the extra bylaw. So we only had one bylaw, we should have 2. So
Thanks, Joe. We have a motion moved by Councillor Webb, second by Councillor Dubé. Resolve that Council agrees to enter into a 5-year visitor experience agreement and 5-year Red Chair agreement with Parks Canada for the period of June 1st, 2026, May 31st, 2031. All in favor? Carried. The golf simulator, John.
So just some background information on this one. Thank you, Your Worship. For 2025, the municipality received NOHFC funding would offset some of the costs required to convert one of our underutilized indoor courts into a golf simulator room. So leveraging the experience of our selected contract, the municipality will be installing a Golflin Erda 2 simulator. The state-of-the-art launch monitor can accommodate up to 8 players at a time and features dual high-speed cameras as well as non-marking ball and club technology. The simulator is expected to be installed and available for public use by the end of June. To assist Council in making a decision on rental fees for the simulators, administration has researched comparable facilities in Northern Ontario and their costs. The most common structure was to rent the simulator booth by the hour for a flat fee. Single player will average 45 minutes to an hour to complete 18 holes using a simulator. And a group of 4 will average 2.5 to 3 hours. On the links in Pure Golf and Thunder Bay charge $50 and $60 per hour, respectively. The Place in Nipigon provides virtual golf for $45 per hour. The Agosaban Golf Course's green fees are $39 per person for 18 holes. Pure Golf provides a $69 discount when purchasing 10 hours in advance, bringing its hourly rate to $53 per hour. Both organizations within the city of Thunder Bay utilize a Foresight GC Hawk simulator, which is considered one of the top products in the industry. The Place uses a True Golf simulator, which will provide a similar experience to the Idra 2 simulator Terrace Bay has purchased. An alternative rental structure is to provide membership packages in addition to hourly rentals. A membership model reduces the per cost use for avid golfers and secures a more consistent revenue stream for the owner. On the links in the Place do not advertise membership packages. Pure Golf offers memberships from November to May for $885 for 2 hours weekly and $13.99 for 4 hours weekly. AGC's 2026 adult membership is valued at $875. This equates to $175 per month for unlimited golf between late May and early October. If a membership model is selected, council may want to consider adding a guest fee in order to prevent a member from providing free access to use by their friends. Additional considerations for membership models include corporate memberships, maximum booking times per day per week, and limiting membership bookings to allow for daily user play. Some additional considerations: although each simulator can accommodate up to 8 players at a time based on the size of the room, council may want to consider limiting the number of players per booth. Based on the size of the room, larger groups may avoid using the space when the adjacent simulator is booked. The community center is open Saturdays 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and closed Sundays. If the simulator booths are open, it is likely council and staff will receive complaints they are inaccessible for the majority of the weekend. If the simulators are popular, there will be a significant increase in calls, emails, and in-person bookings. Therefore, municipality may want to investigate an online booking platform. As the simulator will be more desirable when the golf course is closed, it is unlikely that the municipality will see significant revenue during their first few months of operation. The simulator booths will not be available till the end of June. This report is provided for information purposes only. This will allow council time to further consider pricing options and provide direction on investigating options in greater detail. Unless directed otherwise, administration will bring forward a report recommending the pricing at the June 22nd, 2026 meeting. I think it's June 15th, it's supposed to be, but the municipality is not budgeted for golf simulator rental revenue. These funds can be directed to the annual surplus deficit or a reserve in council's choosing. A recommendation will be brought forward with that next report. And it's provided for information purposes only at this point, just for council to consider this. And administration will bring back some recommendations.
Any questions?
No. Yeah, just a couple comments. I did flip this out to some of the students in my class who golf, and some of the feedback from them was the definitely the hours 10 till 4 and closed Sundays. That's definitely going to be something the public is going to be questioning. There's one way around this, or 2 ways around this, that was brainstormed. A couple of the students said, well, why not hire a student to work in some of those hours, and that way you can open it up to a little bit more, or potentially moving some of the there's a cage at the end of so there's a swipe card, right? And you come in and there's a cage, and then you can go to the golf simulator. So potentially adding a cage to allow people to get to the golfing simulator. So is this an opportunity for us to potentially take some of the revenue and hire a student, or invest in expanding the cages and having some sort of a swipe card system? So for instance, let's say you get a membership, you get a swipe card with that, you use that swipe card to go in and access that room as part of your membership, and that logs within an online booking system is definitely the way to go. And then that way you're not being bogged down by calls and paper copies and stuff like that. So those are some of the feedback that I got as I pushed this out to people.
Any other questions, comments?
I like an online booking. I think that's not a bad way to move forward. If there's a way to expand that to more recreation programming at the same time, or start with this, go from there.
I don't know if you get away with students because it's a unionized job in here.
Yeah, then it might be looking at, and that was one of the things I hypothesized. I know, for instance, like the school or the swimming pool, somehow, you have students working there and whatnot. I'm not sure if there's some, like, if it's open there on Sunday, like who's the union person in charge of that. I'm not entirely sure about that. But if that's not the case, then potentially looking at moving the grates around or adding one this way on the other side of the banking machine, and that might allow it actually to be open to residents to get money out of the bank as well on weekends when this is closed, and put another one down the hall that way, and having some sort of a swipe card, because there's cameras here, if I'm not mistaken, as well, right?
Yeah.
So you have a camera and a swipe card system, and that again gets around staffing. And then who's in here and who's not. And if people are abusing the system through the swipe card, then perhaps they lose their membership, or they're penalized in some way. So
I would say probably, in hindsight, we probably should have thought of some of these things when they first came up, the hours in particular. And we could have put that into the project cost proposal, but there you go.
Yeah, and then even bathrooms. Is there going to be access to bathrooms as well? So looking at, okay, what is those cards? Will they allow you to get in the change room to get changed? Use the washing facilities there as well. But I think that expanding the hours beyond this 10 to 4 for that 6 hour weekend, that's really going to limit the amount of revenue. If we can sort of, I don't want to say make it 24 hours, but expand the hours significantly, that would drive revenue for sure in the winter months.
Well, I think first year will be a learning curve.
I think you keep in mind we hire students for our rink attendance. And so even if the weekends were a seasonal through the winter months, right, on the longer weekend hours, that may be part of it.
Well, but again, that goes to, are they only at the rink when there's somebody here? And then that's right. And that's how it works. Right. So, and what about the pool?
They're all lifeguards there, so they're qualified. I don't think there's any staff that's a lifeguard, but there's always someone here, yeah.
So when the pool is open, there's always somebody in the building here. Okay. And then the hours change for the winter. Is that how it goes? Okay, then. Good thought. Then maybe swipe card might be the way to look forward.
And you just have to be careful how you get around the guest fee potential as well, right?
Yeah.
I guess the same with our gym, though. Someone can bring someone in.
There has to be a relative honor system, but there's also a camera. So if there's complaints that somebody's, bringing a bunch of people in, then potentially you look at the camera and you say, hey, you broke the rules and here are the consequences.
Yeah, I think if you have something like that, you're going to have some kind of supervision for a while, because in case something goes wrong or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how you pick.
That or you have to increase the hours. Yeah. Maybe you look at potentially taking the revenue generated from this and increasing staffing hours on the Sunday, maybe like a 9 to 5, and then go from there. Just ideas, because it says there are going to be, I would assume we're going to make money off of this thing. It's going to be popular based off the numbers and information that we can use that to offset that cost.
And I think just when we roll it out, for usage, and the fees are set as per June the 22nd, brought back to council. There's something that Chris was saying earlier on with the guest being brought in there. There has to be some kind of responsibility and ownership when they do access the facility, and that member bringing that guest in is ultimately responsible. And that should be laid out in the process.
It can be like an extension of, if you think about it, it's the same sort of concept as the gym. We are leaving the people in the gym unsupervised. The golf simulators, it's same but different, right? In my opinion, it's just an extension of like physical activities provided, services provided by the municipality. Anyway, that's my opinion.
No other questions? Okay, we have a motion moved by Councillor Dubé, second by Councillor Webb. Resolve the council accept this report as information only. All in favor? Terry. Okay, Stacy, Shakespeare Circle Tour Partnership.
Thank you, Worship. So for our first report tonight, the Township of Terrace Bay continues to participate as a partner community within the Lake Superior Circle Tour through regional tourism marketing initiatives coordinated by Superior Country. As part of the partnership, Terrace Bay maintains designation as an official Lake Superior Circle Tour passport stamp location. The Circle Tour is an internationally recognized tourism route encompassing communities around Lake Superior in both Canada and the United States, encouraging regional travel and multi-community tourism experiences. Participation in the program provides exposure through digital advertising campaigns, visitor guides, website and social media promotion, tourism partnerships, and inclusion within the Lake Superior Circle Tour mobile application and passport program. Administration notes that official passport stamp locations within the Circle Tour program remain limited and highly sought after by destinations across the region due to the recognition and tourism activity associated with the program. So for the past few years since Parks Canada has been down there, they've been basically waiting and hoping that if we were to ever drop it, they would pick it up. So it's definitely very sought out. And then the next one is in regards to our Lake Superior Circle Tour campaign report. So Superior Country recently released the report outlining annual promotional activities and key performance indicators associated with the marketing initiatives. So they include approximately $23,000 invested in digital promotion, approximately $27,000 invested in additional leverage digital exposure, in market promotion through major sport and travel show, continued growth in social media reach, engagement, and website traffic, Promotion and additional tourism products include Lake Superior Ale Trail and Lake Superior Java Journey. The township benefits from inclusion within these broader regional marketing initiatives as participating partner and official passport stamp location. Administration further notes that the Tourism Information Center visitor tracking and engagement data collected over the past few years consistently identifies the Lake Superior Circle Tour as one of the leading motivators for visitors stopping in Terrace Bay outside of the general Trans-Canada highway travel. It always comes up second to her. So then there's the Must Visit Communities campaign. So in addition to the broader Circle Tour campaign, Terrace Bay participated in the 2026 Must Visit Communities campaign. It's a digital content campaign coordinated through Superior Country. The campaign promoted featured Canadian and U.S. Lake Superior communities through targeted digital advertising and editorial style tourism content. Advertising was directed towards individuals who previously ordered the Lake Superior Circle Tour Adventure Guide, along with lookalike audiences identified as likely Circle Tour travelers. So Terrace Bay participated in the enhanced campaign component through a dedicated feature article titled Why Terrace Bay is Worth Stopping For. Administration notes that the Terrace Bay feature demonstrated particularly strong engagement relative to participating communities, especially considering our community size and market scale. We've actually outperformed Thunder within the campaign, which I was pretty proud to see. Campaign analytics provided in the 2026 Superior Communities Report reflect positive audience interaction, strong visibility among highly targeted tourism audiences already demonstrating interest in the Lake Superior travel experiences. So the positive performance associated with the Terrace Bay feature article reflects continued growth in the regional destination awareness and demonstrates the value of collaborative tourism marketing partnerships and targeted digital promotion initiatives. As for financial implications, participating in the Lake Superior Circle Tour and associated advertising initiatives is included within the township's approved tourism marketing and promotional budgets. Administration believes the continued exposure, visitor recognition, and regional marketing opportunities generated through the Circle Tour partnership support ongoing tourism development objectives and provide value through collaborative regional advertising initiatives. This report serves as a follow-up on those investments and provides council with campaign performance information, partnership outcomes, and regional tourism marketing results associated with the township's participation. So this report is provided to council for information only.
Any questions?
Good stuff.
Thanks, Lisa. We have a motion moved by Councillor Webb, seconded by Councillor Duvey, resolved that council accept the Lake Superior Circle Tour partnership and Must Visit Communities campaign results report as information. All in favor? Terry. And the next one is the Canada summer jobs.
Yes. So for background information, the Township of Terrace Bay was successful in securing funding through the Canada Summer Jobs Program for multiple seasonal positions in 2026, including a new special events assistant role. So approved for 2026, some positions include tourism counselor, minor soccer coach instructor, recreation parks maintenance, swim pool instructor lifeguard, swim pool assistant instructor and lifeguard. But the two new additions was gardener assistant and the special events assistant. The special events assistant position supports the delivery of tourism, recreation, and community events, including events, coordination support, participant engagement, and promotional activities. Funding for this position is currently confirmed for 8 weeks. Administration is seeking council direction regarding extending the position to 16 weeks to support the full 2026 event and tourism season. So for current discussion, the township delivers, collaborates, and supports a broad range of community events, recreation programming, and tourism services throughout the year. So 2026 schedule includes Winterfest, Canada Day, Lake Superior Day, Drag Fest, Sunset Sounds Music Series, which was introduced last year, Lighthouse Festival and Sports Wall of Fame, Fall Market, Mistletoe Christmas Market, Remembrance Day, Christmas Skating Party. In addition, seasonal programming and services include minor soccer programs, swim pool operations and lessons, tourism information center operations. The volume and duration of programming extends well beyond currently funded 8-week period. Extending the special events assistant position to 16 weeks will ensure consistent operational support across peak and shoulder seasons. So the special events assistant plays a key role in event setup, coordination and takedown, supporting safe and inclusive event delivery, assisting with participant engagement and logistics, supporting tourism promotion through photography and social media, providing on-site operational support to staff and volunteers. Extending the position would improve event quality, safety, and visitor experience, provide consistent staffing coverage across the full event season, reduce operational pressures on existing staff resources, and enhance the township's ability to capture and promote tourism experiences. So this request aligns with multiple municipal priorities. So the strategic plan, which supports initiatives that include vibrancy, tourism growth, and service delivery capacity. The tourism marketing plan, which identifies events and experiential tourism as key drivers of visitation and economic activity. And then our recreation master plan supports accessible, inclusive, and well-supported programming. So extending the position also supports the township's long-term workforce sustainability goals by contributing to succession planning and organizational capacity building. The additional duration allows for enhanced knowledge transfer, mentorship, and hands-on experience in municipal event coordination, helping to support continuity in service delivery and future staffing. So for financial implications, the estimated cost to extend the special events assistant position from 8 weeks to 16 weeks is approximately $5,000, representing the unfunded portion not covered by the Canada Summer Jobs Program. Administration proposes that this cost be funded through the township's portion of the municipal accommodation tax. Use of MAP funding for this purpose aligns with its intended use to support tourism promotion and marketing, event development and enhancement, initiatives that increase visitation and improve visitor experience. So the special events assistant directly contributes to these outcomes through event delivery, visitor engagement, and tourism-related content creation. So I have 3 options before you tonight: that council direct administration to proceed with a special events assistant position as funded 8 weeks with no additional municipal contribution. Option B, that council approve the extension of this special events assistant position to 16 weeks for the 2026 season, and that additional estimated cost of $5,000 be funded through the municipal accommodation tax funds. Option C, that council provide alternative direction regarding the duration or funding of the special events assistant position. Our recommendation is option B, that council approve the extension of the special events assistant up to 16 weeks, and that additional estimated cost of $5,000 be funded through municipal accommodation tax.
Questions, comments? Barry?
Yeah, thanks for that. The extension, do you have a start date in mind when that would be?
I believe Michelle does have something lined up for it. I don't know the exact date, but I believe sometime in June.
And do you know if we already have someone
Yes.
hired?
We have somebody in mind, yes.
Okay, no other questions? Okay, we have a motion moved by Councillor Dubé, second by Councillor Webb. Resolve the council approves the extension of the special events assistant position to 16 weeks for the 2026 season, and that the additional estimated cost of $5,000 be funded through municipal accommodation tax. All in favor? Carried. And the next one is census awareness.
So Statistics Canada is currently conducting the 2026 census across Canada. The census is conducted every 5 years and collects demographic, housing, labor, and population information used by all levels of government, businesses, organizations, and service providers to support planning and decision-making. Residents are encouraged to complete their census questionnaire upon receipt. So our current discussion is the census information is used by all levels of government to support community planning, infrastructure analysis, healthcare and housing initiatives, economic development, and service delivery. Census information is also used within a number of provincial and federal funding allocation models, formula-based funding calculations, and grant evaluation processes. For smaller and rural municipalities such as Terrace Bay, accurate participation helps ensure local population trends and community demographics are properly represented within those data sets and planning frameworks. While census delivery timelines are coordinated directly through Statistics Canada, residents are encouraged to complete their census questionnaire upon receipt. Additional information, including the online completion options and census resources, is available through Statistics Canada census information. So there are no direct financial implications associated with this report, but accurate census data supports long-term municipal planning and may assist in supporting future funding, infrastructure, and grant allocation operations.
I got a question, Stacy may not be able to answer it. I got mine delivered right to my door, handed to me, and like see all kinds of comments. I'm not getting one, and blah blah blah. What's going on? You know, they want a good census there. They gotta, you know,
Yeah, actually, the way that it was rolled out kind of confused me a little bit because they said that it needed to be done by the 12th of May, or that's when it seemed as though when it was rolling out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was just gonna say, census day is the 11th or 12th of May. You're supposed to fill the survey out as of that day. So census will continue to roll out over time for the rest of the year. They'll still be cleaning this up early next year.
Okay.
So their goal is to get every single residence in Canada counted. There is a gentleman going around town, door to door, essentially handing you your census forms. So he drives a Ford pickup truck.
Yeah.
A nice guy, got a beard. I just happened to be standing in the driveway when he handed mine, so that's not me. But there is also anybody can go to statscan.ca or census 2026, and you can there's an 800 number you can call if you haven't got a form yet, and they'll make sure you get one. So
Yeah, to your point, I did mine online because I hadn't got it.
there's a number in the bottom.
So I went online and then you could get a code and then you could fill it out online. So and then 2 days later, the guy knocked on my door. So yeah, but you can do it online.
Just a question, and you know, not having a stage player. Like anybody that doesn't have a computer that's not online, is there any way that the Wheels Township can help the seniors or some that doesn't have the accesses to do the census? Because like you said in your report, it's imperative that we as a small municipality make sure that our census and our people in our little township get counted for.
Yeah, so what I can hope is that they physically are able to be handed one from the individual going around, but I would imagine that worst case scenario, you would be able to sit with somebody at the library, for example, to go through it with them or something like that electronically. So that's what I would write.
Should we maybe put something out on the township's website saying that this is available, or in the senior center to making sure these people know that they do have the access to people that are willing to give them a hand to help them be counted, so to speak?
Yeah, we would have to confirm with staff if they have the capacity to be able to do it for us to be able to make the announcement to do so. But I think it's within something we can look into.
Sure.
No other questions? No. Motion moved by Councillor Webb, second by Councillor Dubé, resolve that council accept 2026 census awareness report as information. All in favor? Carrying.
Continue to say Statistics Canada census.
Really hard to say.
Good night, Stacy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next one's communications, Lakespeare High School. Yeah. We have a motion moved by Councillor Dubé, second by Councillor Webb. Resolve that council agrees to sponsor purchase of corsages and boutonnieres for the 13 potential graduating students from Terrace Bay for graduation on June 25th, 2026. All in favor? Carry. One's the Ross Lake Fish Derby. We have a motion by Councillor St. Louis, second by Councillor Duno. Resolve that council agreed to donate blank to the Ross Lake Fish Derby. And I talking to John today, I don't know if we've ever donated anything to them. And go ahead.
So the request is actually for one family bowling and one pool rental. The approximate value be $250 plus HST. According to the application, we have donated a one pool rental in the past, so the ask is a bit of an increase this year. But that's what the ask is in the letter from Mr. Lama.
One pool rental and one
Bowling alley rental.
$25.
Yeah. The family bowling is definitely $125, and the pool rental is $125 as well.
Well, that's for like an hour.
That's the party rate.
Oh, they're having like a party, not just for kids or whatever.
Well, it's donation for the prize. Whoever wins that prize would get the pool rental, and then somebody else would probably get the bowling alley rental.
No, I realize that. I'm just thinking for a family to rent the pool is $125.
That's what the
It's something right.
Yeah.
You know, there was a year we didn't do private rentals for the pool, so as long as we're doing that again this year, I'm fine with that.
Well, the last meeting, I know we discussed that rather than doing a pool rental, we could always say, here's 4 family passes. So you can go during open swim. You know, to bring your like 4 family swims, and that, you know, say a family of 4, here's 4 family swims rather than a pool rental. And then that way, you know, it's already staffed and it's not costing,
Yeah.
that much. So I would personally, again, be in favor of 1 family bowling and 4 like open swim passes.
So I guess what's our donation? Boys said that.
Well, if you guys are gonna donate to everything you said, you're
Yeah.
this isn't a monetary donation.
Thank you.
That's right.
Your next one coming up on the agenda also will be a monetary donation. This one is
I've more.
I like ways over the passes to occurring.
It's an in kind rather than monetary, which I'm fine with doing personally.
So 1 bowling pass, 1 swim pool pass.
No, 1 bowling pass, 4 day or open swim passes. So you can go for.
I would just make it open or family swim.
Yeah, open or / family swim pass. And that way a family of 4 could go.
Okay, I'll read this. We have a motion moved by Councillor St. Louis, second by Councillor Juno. Resolve the council agreed to donate 1 bowling pass and 4 swim passes to the Ross Lake Fish Tournament, correct?
So
All in favor?
Maybe we should add it with the mayor, but yeah.
Save yourself $125. All in favor, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is the curling club. We have a motion moved by Councillor Duno, second by Councillor St. Louis. Resolved the council agreed to continue the current A1 position sponsorship of the Terrace Bay Curling Club with 1 year sponsorship term. Is that what we're doing?
Terrace Council, 2 years is 312, 1 year is 156.
1 or 2 years?
succinct. I'm fine with 2 years.
Yeah,
It's the
2
same
years.
price. It's just no discount, right? Yeah.
Okay, 2 year sponsorship?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, moved by Councillor Duno, second by Councillor St. Louis. Resolved the council agreed to continue the current A1 position sponsorship of the Terrace Bay Curling Club with a 2 year sponsorship term. All in favor? Carried. Next one's appointment of Fran Ogilvy to the Beautification Committee, moved by Councillor St. Louis, second by Councillor Duno. Resolved the council approve these to the Beautification Committee. All in favor? Carried. The last one, moved by Councillor St. Louis, second by Councillor Duno, whereas the Goldfield Road and the Virgin Road are critical forest access roads serving northwestern Ontario communities, including the town of Terrace Bay, Page Flat First Nation, Long Lake 58 First Nation, and the municipality of Greenstone. And whereas these roads provide essential access to forestry operations, mining exploration, tourism operations, indigenous land users, emergency responders, hunters, anglers, trappers, outdoor recreation users, and the traveling public. And whereas the province of Ontario has acknowledged that forest access roads are vital networks of Northern Ontario infrastructure supporting economic development, regional connectivity, emergency preparedness, and community access. And whereas Ontario's provincial forest access roads funding program supports over 19,000 kilometers of public forest access roads across Northern Ontario and recognizes these roads as critical infrastructure for Indigenous communities, industry, tourism, and public safety. Whereas uncertainty surrounding long-term industrial activity and changing economic conditions in Northwest Ontario have created growing concerns regarding the continued maintenance and safety of Goldfield and Virgin roads. And whereas deteriorating road conditions threaten regional economic opportunities, access to traditional territories, emergency response capabilities, tourism development, forestry and mining investment, and public safety. And whereas municipalities and First Nation communities do not possess the financial capacity to independently assume the long-term maintenance costs associated with these significant regional transportation corridors. Therefore, be it resolved that the Township of Terrace Bay formally requests that the Province of Ontario, through the Minister of Natural Resources and Forestry and the Ministry of Northern Development, establish a sustainable long-term funding commitment for the continued maintenance, rehabilitation, and safety improvements of the Goldfield and Virgin roads And be it further resolved that the province recognize these roads as essential multi-use regional infrastructure supporting Indigenous communities, economic development, tourism, emergency services, and access to traditional lands. And be it further resolved that the province works collaboratively with municipalities, First Nations, forestry stakeholders, and regional economic partners to develop a long-term access road strategy for the diversion and Goldfield roads to ensure stability, public safety, and economic resilience. And be it further resolved that copies of the resolution be forwarded to the Honorable Minister of Natural Resources and Forestry, the Honorable Minister of Northern Development, the Honorable Minister of Indigenous Affairs, local MPPs, NOMA, Phenom, Pace Flat First Nation, Long Neck 58, Municipality of Greenstone, regional forestry and industry stakeholders for their consideration and support. And let's say this one, the Honorable Ministry of Natural Resources should be one, and forestry should be another one, like Minister Harrison, Minister Hall. So two separate ones there.
Okay.
So all in favor? There.
Can I just make a quick comment though first? I have reached out to Chief David Musquash in Pace Flat First Nation. I sat on a phone call with him and Riel Bouchard, Councillor Riel Bouchard, and they are Pace Flat is 100% willing to work together with us on this issue. Also, speaking of that, I did phone Long Lake 58. I left a message with Chief John Onabagon. I have not heard back. I've reached back out to David Musquash there in Pace Plat, asking if he could also reach out. I haven't heard back, but like I said, Pace Plat First Nation is on board. You have, Paul, you mentioned that the mayor of Greenstone is on board with this as well. So it seems that we have some good regional partnerships here to move this forward. Yeah.
Marty, are you going to read your report, or you just want us to pass it? I know Chris sent it to us.
Do you read it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Your voice sympathy.
Thank you. So last Tuesday on the 12th, we had our annual shadow day where the grade 8 students from all 5 of our elementary schools got to come to the high school and shadow a high school student. They got the chance to sit in on our classes and participate in school-wide activities like the assembly that we had. We've also been doing a lot of fundraising around the school lately. This week, we drew a 50-50 raffle to fundraise for this year's graduation. We're also currently doing a Persian fundraiser, which ends on May 21st, and a hanging basket fundraiser, which ends on May 22nd. The money raised from both of these goes towards our athletes and our sports programs. We're also going to be hosting a 3-versus-3 basketball tournament on May 23rd. High school students as well as adults are able to sign up. Cash prizes will be awarded, and any money raised will also go towards our sports programs. So with our sports, as I mentioned last time, our badminton team did very well, and we had a few students move on to play in Thunder Bay. So 2 of our students from there managed to place second and qualify for OFSA, which they attended in Toronto. Very high competition down there, so they didn't place well, but they still had lots of fun. And so now we've moved on to our soccer season, and our teams are working hard to prepare for the tournament this Wednesday and Thursday. We played a game against Nippigan today. Our boys play a game and our girls play a game. So they stopped in on their way to Wawa, which we are leaving for tomorrow morning. So yeah, that's exciting. And then I just wanted to point out that the local dance studio, North Shore Dance Company, celebrated their end of their season with an amazing show on May 9th in our high school gym. Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions? Okay, we have a motion moved by Councillor Dubé, seconded by Councillor Webb. Resolved that council accept the student councilor's report for May 19th, 2026 as presented. All in favor? Carried. Next are our bylaws. We have a motion moved by Councillor Duno, seconded by Councillor St. Louis. Resolved that a bylaw to enter into a license agreement for visitor experience programming with His Majesty the King and Right of Canada, represented by the Minister the environment for the purposes of Parks Canada Agency be read first, second, and third time, and finally passed, signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed and numbered on this 19th day of May, 2026. All in favor? Carried. Next bylaw, moved by Councillor St. Louis, second by Councillor Duno, resolved on a bylaw to enter into a license agreement for the Red Chairs Experience Program with His Majesty the King and Right of Canada, represented by the Minister of Environment for the purposes of Park Canada Agency be read first, second, and third time and finally passed. Signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed and numbered on this 19th day of May, 2026. All in favor? Carried. And any questions drawn out there?
If you have a question online, now is the time to ask. Second call for questions online. And third and final call. I don't think there's any questions online, Your Worship.
Thanks, John. We are now going to go in camera. We have a motion moved by Councillor Duno, second by Councillor St. Louis. Resolve the council move the next portion of this meeting in camera at 19:51 to discuss the approval of minutes from the previous closed session held on April 20th. One matter concerning litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board regarding a bylaw order. 3, one matter concerning a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board regarding sewer and water connection proposal. Number 4 is one matter concerning position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the municipality or local board. This is regarding the school board child care project. 5, one matter concerning labor relations or employee negotiations regarding CDM position. 6 is one matter concerning a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board. 33 and 35 Simple Plaza. All in favor? Carried. And we'll take 5-minute break. Back to you.